now? Let me guys know if you hear me. That good? All right, cool. All right. All right, cool. All right. What's going on? Let me talk once again. Um Let me know if this guy's is lagging at all, because I'm just using a new overlay right now, a different type of layout. So the last 48 hours, we did get a report from Jim Bowden on MLB Network Radio that the Mets are close to an agreement. He did get a text from a friend that Correa is going to be a Met, and they're working out the finishing touches of the deal. But he also reported today that the framework is not imminent, basically meaning that we don't know when this deal is going to be announced. There's also some announcements that you have a big, a big college football game going on today, and it's possible that the Mets want to make this a big announcement once all of that is done. No major sports events going on, which I don't personally believe, but that's just a different story. And then we also had a fellow creator report and ask Steve Cohen at the fantasy camp event. And of course, for those of you who don't follow Wardy on Twitter, he got a direct quote from Steve Cohen that is on the screen, that basically there was going to be a resolution sooner or later. So it looks like the last 48 hours are very positive for the Mets front right now. And it looks like the next 48 hours is going to determine where this all resolves. And it looks pretty good for the Mets right now, but anything can change. But for those of you who have your thoughts and opinions, leave them in the chat below. We obviously have some other stories on the screen of what has been going on in the last 24-ish hours. So yeah, other than that. Okay. Other than that, let me just move this here. Sorry. Making sure everything's going well. Sorry about that, guys. Okay. So for those of you in here, let us know in the poll that we have going on right now of the term that you would give Carlos Correa from all of the information that you're getting from all of the reports going on, with this health. How do you guys feel about this whole situation? We have less than 8 years. Would you give him less than 8 years, 8 to 10 years, 11 to 12 years, or just don't sign him at all, which it looks like no one has voted so far to not sign him. So that's good. So we know that Correa is a need here. That's good to know. All right. For those of you just coming in here, like the stream, drop a like. Yep, that's the smart thing to do. Hit the subscribe button if you have not already. Looks like we had somebody vote don't sign him. If you guys want to, if that person wants to reveal themselves, you can, but I'm not going to out anyone. I'm not going to call anyone out, but you guys can let us know. There's someone in here that does not want the Mets to sign Correa. And if they'd like to remain anonymous, that's fine. Okay. All right, cool. I'm just making sure, guys, because wasn't you? Okay. Is everybody all right? Just confirm in the chat. If it wasn't you, let me know in the chat, because we need to know. Guys, let me know if anything is lagging. Anything is or I'm just trying to make sure all these settings are here, because I don't want any echoes or anything coming out. No, it's not you. Okay, Mike. That's good to know. Lagging now? Yeah, okay. Thank you for letting me know. I might have to switch this over. Just trying to fix everything that the deal is here. Just gonna pop everything up. Ugh. There we go. No, I don't need that. Making sure everything's good. It should be good. I'm not sure what the deal is, but probably just coming in and out. Yeah. Okay. So, other news that came out today, there was the fact that the Mets signed Tim LaCastro. For those of you who don't know who that is, he's like the fastest man alive. Doesn't really do much other than that. So if he is on the opening day roster, that's going to be something that I think I'm going to find very peculiar, because you're going to have 4 bench pieces, only 4, because you need a DH, and then obviously the lack of flexibility. But I'm not just going to take somebody that can just run the bases, because somebody is fast, they can take up a spot, which is something that I'm not someone who supports. Okay. All right. So it looks like it's good right now. So, all right. So I'm just refreshing Twitter, making sure that we get and make sure we don't have any updates that I missed. Yeah, okay. Okay. All right. So for those of you in the poll right now, it looks like 8 to 10 years is leading right now at 51%. Less than 8 years has 30%. 11 to 12 years has 18%, and then 2% don't sign him. So I'm guessing that's one person. So somebody came in here, said they don't want him to sign, and I don't know if they just ducked out or they won't show themselves. But that's where we stand right now. So we also had some other news come out from Steve Phillips. He was talking about how Steve Phillips was talking about how this deal could get done in the next 48 hours. And he also was talking about the fact that it seems pretty much imminent. And then there was also some report about how he was talking about, Boris and his camp are pretty much in that position where if the Mets, pull out of the deal, or they take their offer off of the table, they're not really in a good spot afterwards, because it doesn't look like anybody around the major league uh, universe is willing to give a deal that the Mets are willing to give to Correa. It's probably the injury concerns. Obviously, we saw some stuff about the Twins monitoring it, and but it looks like the Twins are not really looking to give another offer. And that's something that's really just stopping him at the moment. And it doesn't look like there's any other teams involved, even though we did get a report about there being 1 to 2 teams, and maybe there is a mystery team involved, but that has not been shown in the last 48 hours. It looks like this is full on a Mets game right now, as it's most likely been for the last 19 days. And it is Correa Watch 19 right now. So for those of you who missed yesterday, we posted episode 4 of the podcast talking about pretty much the whole Correa situation. We also got into some Mets. We also got into some Mets 5-starter situation with Tyler McGill and David Peterson. Joey Lucchesi as another possibility. We talked about that as well, filling out the rest of the bullpen. We also played a little bit of Mets trivia. So for those of you who know your Mets and want to answer some Mets trivia questions, you can watch the latest episode. It was posted yesterday. Could it be the Giants still? It may be the Giants, but it looks like they've pretty much turned away, and they've already signed quite a few free agents right now. Not to the caliber of Correa, but, Conforto, Haniger, and it looks like they signed Luke Jackson today. So I think that combines for Correa's AAV that they were going to give to him, or somewhat about. So, I mean, it doesn't look like the Giants are in it, but, we saw some other teams involved. The Cubs were a team that we saw involved before the Mets obviously popped up in this entire series. The Yankees, the Yankees were talk about it, but it looks like nobody was going for it. Apparently, there was something about that. I got to pull that up. But the latest clip from MLB radio, Cubs. Wow, didn't know that. Yeah, the Cubs were in, but they're not going to be in. Obviously, they signed Swanson, so they're not going to be in. But they were talked about as a possibility for Carlos Correa. But no, I don't think that's going to happen. I don't know what that mystery team could be. Obviously, some pessimistic Mets fans out there would talk about how it's the Braves, but I don't think that happens, even though they do need a shortstop. I don't think that they go that direction. I wonder who was it told Jim that maybe Lindor. I don't know. I don't know who it was, but he got a text, he said, and he broke it. And then we're also getting some multiple other reports that this is pretty much coming to an end and there's going to be a resolution soon. So the next 48 hours should be the time where this gets determined, whether Carlos Correa is going to be a Met or maybe things go full on south. Only 8 to 10 years with 5 guaranteed, and then games played incentive from 5 to 10 and opt-outs and less than 60% games played. It's possible that that's going to be one of the situations. Yes. What is the obsession with Correa? He's a great player, fantastic player, can definitely put this roster over the top. Sure, the Mets have some other third base options, but Correa is one of those proven postseason pieces that we're going to need, considering we're trying to make a deep postseason run. He is overrated and injury prone. Take that risk with everyone. It's the deal. What do you think of good trade for Escobar would be? I think it's possible that the Mets either get some bullpen arms for Escobar, or I wouldn't say outfield prospects, but Escobar, I'd say that you'd get maybe a bullpen arm or maybe a Trevor Williams type of arm, a swingman, shall we say. The Phillies moves are making Steve. Yeah, possibly. Good, Brona. Yeah, it's probably the Mets only at this point. Based on what we've all been reading, it's just a formal language in the revised contract that has been agreed upon. Yeah, I think this is about to get finalized. We got about 100 people in here. So for those of you who have not voted on the poll, go ahead. What you guys would do. We need bullpen and a power hitter. Correa can give you some power. And there has been talks about how the Mets moving him to third base has definitely gives him a more of an advantage as to where more of an advantage where he can, strengthen his upper body a little bit more and hit for a little bit more power. So that's definitely something I'm excited for. And he's already been a 20 to 25 home run guy. Not enough. I mean, obviously, it's not enough. I would love another power bat on top of it. I would love for them to include, a possible Trey Mancini or something like that. Not just one piece of power protection. His offensive stats, not good at third base. He hasn't really played much third base, so he's only played third base in the WBC. I saw something to say on another channel that Correa is flying to New York today. Possible. When did he hit 30 home runs? I never said that. I said 20 to 25 has been pretty much his realm. How many years do you think it is? I think I'm starting to believe that it's the 12 years, 315 that they usually did, but they're just going to add some stipulations, or maybe it just becomes, a 10-year deal, 11-year deal. I still do think it continues long term, but they're going to have some non-guarantees. When did he get? I don't understand the periods after every something. Looks like things are starting to happen. When did he get 100 RBIs? I mean, listen, he's a great player. This is a perennial 5 to 6 win player that you're putting on your roster. It's definitely an upgrade. Definitely a bat you need. What do you think if it's 10 years, 300 million, fully guaranteed? Again, I have gone on record and said that I don't care what he does in the back end of the contract. You give when you sign guys like Verlander and you sign like guys like Scherzer, you're here to win right now. You shouldn't care about what he does in year 7, year 8 of the contract right now. And I'm not concerned with the injury concerns that have popped up, because from what we're hearing, I think it's a lot different than what we actually are hearing. But what I will say that it's something that I don't know how to word this. It's something that has not been a concern yet in his career. And again, if this is a long-term thing, yeah, he's a clutch playoff performer. Absolutely. He will adjust to third base. He will light up every player in this lineup, improve all his apprentices. He's a perennial player. Absolutely. Correa, Lindor, McNeil, Alonso, best infield in the league. They have a case. They definitely have a case. All those guys are, 4 to 6 to 7 win players right there. So just in your infield alone. And imagine if, Francisco Alvarez gets going, whether it's this year or the next year afterwards, and becomes that star we're expecting to be. There's a lot of people in here, so make sure to hit the like on the stream if you haven't already. Subscribe as well. We surpassed 1,000 subscribers this week. What did Lindor RBIs do for them in the playoffs? Nothing. Yes. Well, the RBI total is exactly. They were pretty much like the high pieces of the offense, and obviously they're the big pieces that needed to perform. And it just didn't. They just didn't have enough after Alonso. They relied a lot on Alonso, and when Alonso wasn't hitting, it's like Lindor. Alonso did pretty much everything for this team last year. That was the whole offense. It ran through him. He was the only power source. So they need to add somebody like Correa, who can be a dynamic type of player, to complement a guy like, Lindor, who can give you some power. But you're adding 20 to 25 homers to your lineup. I'm okay with that. I saw somebody saying something about Senga. Do you think Senga will have a good year for his first year? I'm kind of nervous. I mean, it's okay to be nervous, to be honest. I mean, it's definitely a risk, and we know that it's a risk with a lot of these guys that come out of Japan. And for those of you who have not seen his Fangraphs projections, we actually talked about those on the podcast. Obviously, we recorded on Saturday, came out yesterday, which was Sunday. We talked about it. I mean, I kind of get it. I do get it, but I personally, off the top of my head and from what I'm seeing about this guy, and it's going to be completely different. He looks like a reliever to me. And I don't know if a guy with a reliever ceiling such as him and a guy who has a lack of depth in his arsenal and, somebody who throws as hard as he does and has the command issues that have been scouted from him, obviously the whole, effective spin rate and everything with the American baseballs compared to the balls in Japanese. There's so many different factors. It's definitely you can definitely have a concern with him being in the rotation as your number 3. And if it doesn't work out, then maybe the Mets do make a move at the deadline. So just make sure. If something happens to him, Cohen has insurance policies on these expensive players. Boy, I hope so. I do hope so. As a Jays fan, I really hope Toronto gets Jerickson Profar. Profar is a fantastic player. He is a really good player. Play any position. Profar definitely is not Profar, he was a highly touted prospect coming up. Kind of flopped at the beginning, but he's kind of, developed into a very solid player with a lot of versatility. Doesn't do anything at an elite rate, but he can definitely provide you with all 5 tools if you need them. And he also could play the infield and the outfield, so provides so much flexibility, which is why. And he's also a switch hitter too, so he is, the super versatile type of player. So there you go. Senga pitches once a week in Japan. Do you think they do a 6-man rotation? Well, I mean, with considering how much I'm seeing that they like David Peterson, and they also have, they like McGill. I don't see it as a rare. I think it's possible. I don't think they go with it because they have these 2 veteran starters at the top in Verlander and Scherzer who like to pitch every 5 days. But if they do want to give them an extra piece of rest, a 6-man rotation is a possibility. They could do it, and maybe Scherzer and Verlander could push to 7 innings every single time they go out because they have an extra day of rest. But I think that's pretty much up to what the how the Mets kind of agree with that. With Scherzer, because Scherzer is kind of one of those rhythm and rep type of guys. He likes to throw a lot, and if they're limiting his innings, he's not going to be as effective as you expect him to be. So, it's there's a reason why it makes sense to do a 6-man rotation with a lot of question marks of how well you think that these guys are going to do or how they're going to hold up in a 162 game season. But I don't see them. I don't see them doing that. But it makes sense to. I wouldn't be opposed to it. As a 4th outfielder and flexibility he offers. Yeah. I would love to bring in a guy like Profar. That would be awesome to replace a lot of these guys who are very one-dimensional on our bench. He would definitely be a good addition. Wake up, guys. Are you talking to the Mets or wake up the chat? I think the chat's moving pretty well. Chat rate's going up pretty well. Blue Jays and Mets are your teams. Well, Blue Jays and Mets have been in some free agency battles the last few years. It looks like the fuck. Okay. All right. Yeah, it looks like the Mets scored a point there, bringing in Nimmo, but Nimmo was originally a Met. They took Gosman from us, and they took Springer from us. So that kind of sucks. But you know what? Life goes on, I guess. All right. Guess we're just pretty much waiting up on a Correa update at this point, as it now reaches day 19 of Correa Watch. And yeah, it looks like we're going to get something in the next 48 hours. I go back a long way with the Mets, like 92, 93. Wow. Okay. Yeah, we have quite the older audience here. I guess young people don't like us. If Judge didn't sign with the Yankees, would you have won him? I mean, I didn't see him coming to the Mets at all, but of course, I mean, I would have taken Judge. I mean, Judge is a difference maker. Absolutely. Wake up, guys. No, I was referring to Senga talk. Oh. Yeah, Senga, I mean, again, it's a risk. It's a risk. We know it is a risk, but Billy likes him. Billy Epler likes him. Is this not a Mets channel? It is a Mets channel. Yes. Hey, he is signing tomorrow, guarantee. Remember that? All right, I'm going to hold you to it. I would pop up the comments on the screen, but my monitor keeps freezing over there, so I apologize for that. Do you think we will get Ohtani? Not anything is possible. Anything's possible in this situation, but you have money coming off the books after this year, and you know, it's not big money, but we all know that, you know, Cohen's willing to spend for it. And we all know the relationship that Ohtani does have with Billy Epler. We'll see. I don't know. We'll see. I don't think Correa completely takes them out of the running, but I'm not saying that it's a full-on guarantee. I don't think Correa really stops them from getting Ohtani, but maybe the league steps in. But you know what? Go for broke at this point. Go for broke. Because we all know that the next CBT is going to be hell. They're going to we know that the CBT is going to be hell. So that's definitely going to be it. Of all the Mets channels on YouTube, I enjoy this one the most. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. A lot of work goes into this every single week. So if and when we sign Carlos Correa, what are we doing with Escobar? Well, there's rumors that the Mets might move him, and we signed a trash ex-Yankee who's going to be our fourth outfielder for the team. I don't think he will be the fourth outfielder, but it's possible considering that we don't have anything else. I think that the Mets are going to continue to look for a fourth outfielder that, you know, they can sign on a major league deal, or you know, they look for something else. I don't know if they bring back Naquin. I doubt they do, because I don't think they were really fond of him after the results they were actually expecting from him off the bench. The Mets won't have a place for Ohtani. We will make a place for Ohtani. Do you like Vogelbach? I like Vogelbach as a hitter. Do I think that he provides a lot of value for this team? Probably not. Like, I don't know. Yeah, I think that it makes sense to shop around Vogelbach. He's a great guy. He's you know, he's a good hitter. I do like him as a hitter, and I think they like him a lot and they're going to keep him. But I think, you know, given the flexibility off of the bench, if he was your only DH, obviously I'd probably keep him around, but you have Vientos here, you have Darren Ruff, you have all these other bats that could be DHs, and also the Mets do need for bullpen, and what the Mets traded away for Daniel Vogelbach was a controllable reliever. So it makes sense to move him, but I don't think that they do because they like him a lot. No, you're all good, man. I'm not restricting any. You can talk about whatever the hell you want. I usually shoot off my mouth a lot, so you guys have the same freedom to do stuff too, as long as you're not spamming random spamming stupid crap. You should be all good. Making sure no updates. Do you think this would be a good contract for Pete Alonso? 10 years, 250. You probably can get him a little bit less for that. I mean, you're projecting right now his projected AAV is about 23 million. Pete Alonso. I looked at this because we actually talked about, as long as you're allowed to swear. Oh, fuck yeah, go ahead. Yeah, we talked about this actually on the podcast yesterday about a possible extension for Pete Alonso. Something to model it around, if you want to keep him a lot more long term, is obviously the Austin Riley contract. That's a different story, obviously. Matt Olson being a first baseman, that's another thing you could possibly wrap it around there. Let's see. Hello, looks like Chafin. It's not going to sign with the Mets, and Hendricks have his problem. Do you see a reliever? I think the Mets do bring in another reliever. I agree with you, John. About get Andrew McCutchen. I'd take Andrew McCutchen. Sure. Kills lefties. Why not? He's got a little game left in him. When are we going to say adios to Ruff? I'm waiting at the same time you are. I'm ready to get rid of that old fuck. I'll tell you right now. I'm ready to get rid of him. Dodgers are offering Trevor Bauer for Lindor. Yeah, I don't see that happening. Let's say we need to sign Jeff soon. Well, Jeff and Pete are both going on the free agent market at the same time. So if the Mets do want to extend one of them next offseason, it probably will be in their best interest to do so. But I do see both of them, with how much they have evolved into some of the best players in baseball. I do see them testing the market, but we'll see. Pete, I'm a lot more confident in him staying than Jeff. Any talks of Diaz's brother coming to the Mets? No, we haven't heard anything. We've heard some connection, obviously, but nothing crazy. Where's Bauer going? Hopefully it's not here. That's all I hope. Trade Ruff for Alexis Diaz. Listen, straight up right now, if they do it, do it. The Reds have made some questionable trades before, so you know what? Add that to the list if that's going to happen. I do it right now. Do you see we can trade for a Marlins pitcher? Well, we already did for two already this year. We got Jeff Brigham and Eliezer Hernandez. Jeff Brigham. Let me try that again. Jeff Brigham, I'm actually excited for. Eliezer Hernandez, nah. But, maybe it's a possibility. The Marlins have checked in on Eduardo Escobar. So that is a possibility. They are interested in him, but it looks like that's kind of settled off. It looks like that's pretty much settled off since they signed Gene Segura. Everybody happy that Gene Segura is still in the Mets division? That's great, isn't it? God, that fucker's annoying. Escobar for Santana. Which Santana are we talking about? Remind me of which Santana you're thinking of. Danny Santana, Johan Santana. It would be great to trade for Pablo Lopez. I think that'll take a haul, but yeah, sure. I mean, I'd love Pablo Lopez. That's a good middle of the rotation type of guy. That's a number 2, the Cy Young pitcher. Why am I blanking? Fuck. What the hell? Santana. Somebody help me out here. Where is Profar and Duvall going? I mean, I'd love Profar, Duvall, no thank you, but I think any team that's looking for kind of a versatile leadoff hitter, a toolsy leadoff hitter, Carlos Santana, the Cy Young pitcher, Carlos Santana. Well, Carlos Santana is a first baseman. Yeah, so Profar is definitely a team that's looking for Profar would go to a team that is looking for a toolsy leadoff hitter. He was on Pittsburgh. He is on okay. Escobar for Liam Hendricks. I mean, I'd love to, but also speaking of Liam Hendricks, wishing him a speedy recovery. He did announce on Twitter that he has been diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. So I'm wishing him a speedy recovery. Baseball needs guys like him on the field. He's a great guy. Gonna go watch the football game. All right. TCU, Georgia. For those of you who watch college football, who do you guys got tonight? Do you like this trade? Vientos and Escobar for Eloy Jimenez. Where do I sign? I'll sign it 3 times. Take it right there. A lot more flexibility that way. Absolutely. In that, yeah, we actually did do a trade video about Liam Hendricks, and it also one of those trades included Eloy Jimenez. I like Profar too, but no one seems to like him. I mean, if he's coming off your bench, I mean, it's better than a Tyler Naquin, Matt Olson and McNeil for Alonso. I don't know how that works, but that'd be cool. And Waka and Greinke are out there. Waka, I think, goes to I don't even know where Waka would go. Waka seems like a guy that gets picked up by one of the NL East teams. Whether it's the Phillies. I would not trade Pete Alonso. No, I don't think they want to trade Pete Alonso at all. Unless they think that their infamous 8th round pick, JT Schwartz, is going to be a superstar. I don't see them trading Pete Alonso. I think they want to keep him long term. Matt Olson for McNeil and Alonso, yes or no? What about trading McNeil? I mean, I was on board of trading McNeil last offseason, but I don't think they're going to. Let's see. But yeah, if they want to add a little bit more power to the lineup, he is someone who could provide a lot of flexibility. If they know that he's not going to return, they probably could get something back for him. But yeah, can I see a trade for Carrasco? Absolutely. We did a video about that as well. 4 destinations for Carrasco. People here are talking crazy. I like the hot takes. They're nice. Good hot takes. Carrasco for Seth Beer. I think that if the Mets do trade Carrasco, they do get like a controllable starter, or a Trevor Williams type of arm, somebody that can come out of the bullpen and spot start if you need him. To keep Carrasco, I'm okay. I'm okay with dealing Carrasco. I would take that because you're definitely in a situation where it makes sense to deal him to get it a little bit more, shall we say, flexible. Dom Smith signed with the Nats. Yes, he did. I think that's on here, right? Is that on the? Yeah. How about Jimenez having a better year than Lindor yet again this year? I don't think he overall had a better year. Offensively, he did. Overall, no. I think the trade worked out for both sides. Andrew, what's going on? My co-host Andrew, for some reason he's not in here. Check the WER. I can check the WAR. I'm pretty sure he outplayed him, right? Did he? I don't know. Maybe they changed the system or something. I don't know. But I know. From what I know, Lindor, 7-win player last year, 6.8. And then I'm pretty sure Jimenez was about 5-ish, right? Again, that's just a different. They do both are playing different positions. Unless you want my shitty headset, I am in a car. No, you just basically ditched me to come to the state that I live in and didn't even stay high. Yeah, so 6.1 win season for Jimenez, 6.8 for Lindor. Who is the fourth outfielder? Please don't tell me Duvall. I don't want to tell you Duvall because I am not for bringing in Duvall either. I'm not a fan of that at all. Josh Bell and Nick Martinez for Carrasco. Josh Bell is in Cleveland now. He just signed a deal with Cleveland. Seems similar to me and younger. Yeah. But again, the trade worked out for both sides. So, I mean, what else can you do? Jimenez was not going to be, I loved Jimenez. Jimenez was one of the first like prospects I ever liked as a Mets fan when he signed internationally at like age 17. I loved Jimenez, but Lindor is a lot more of a proven player, and we're getting him for the prime of his career. For those of you in here, there's a lot here. Like the stream, that'd be nice. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. We surpassed 1,000 subscribers this week, so thank you guys so much for that. And we're just continuing to grow and grow and grow. There's too many people in here at this point. It's getting a little crowded. Has the potential to be better? No. Well, yeah. I mean, it's possible. Yes, definitely possible. I hated seeing Taijuan Walker go. I didn't. I needed that dude gone. I needed him gone. I'm not a fan of Taijuan Walker. Lindor hit the peak. It's possible, but he's definitely still playing to that production now. Definitely had a good bounce back season. Obviously, 2022, he looked good. So that's all I can really ask for. Again, it's he played well. Again, I'm not gonna bash Lindor. He did his job. Senga has the best stuff out of all Met pitchers, minus DeGrom in the last 2 years. He does have the best stuff, but we'll see how it translates. Again, it's a different ball game here in America. Or Cal Tranquil. Yeah, that's somebody that I'd like to bring in. I mean, it looks like Miami's putting their pretty much rotation besides Sandy, Alcantara, whatever it is, on the trade market right now, and we haven't really heard much from the whole. What? Yeah. You haven't heard much about Cleveland auctioning off any people, but yeah. I really wish we had Pete Crow Armstrong. I mean, I'm one of the I'm one of the believers that Alex Ramirez is going to be a better player than him, but yes, I, I I understand the frustration with that. I'm a big fan of Alex Ramirez, so he's my favorite prospect right now, currently. Fourth outfielder this year? No, I don't see that happening in a while. Damn it, 3 syllables. Alcantara. Listen, I don't know. I'm not an expert at that. Yeah. Uh, yeah. Alex Ramirez. 2 years is a possibility. A lot of upside. I like him. I like Alex Ramirez. Darvish did pretty well here. We got Darvish. Nimmo to left field. Yeah, that's a possibility. Probably for the back end of that contract. Yeah. Okay. All right. So, um, for those of you in here, it looks like 8 to 10 years is still leading in the poll by 51%. You got 33% less than 8 years, 10% 11 to 12. So the original terms, it doesn't look like a majority of you guys are happy with that. And then 6% say don't sign him at all. Alvarez AAA start. That is an opinion from DeComo, but he said unlikely. But remember, DeComo is the same guy that said that in 2019, Pete Alonso is not going to make the opening day roster, and he did, and won Rookie of the Year. Had an incredible season. You said he's better in right field, from what I saw. Ramirez is center field. He's got wheels in the arm. It's kind of just the frame. I think he's a little bit too tall to be a center fielder, but Yankees put Judge in center field, so that pretty much knocks it out completely. Mets are interested in AJ Pollock. AJ Pollock went to the Mariners yesterday or 2 days ago. That Wardy question to Steve Cohen was so weak. Left Cohen so many outs. Should have been more direct, at least followed up. Well, I mean, he's not allowed to speak publicly about the player because that is more of a, I don't know if that is that tampering or is that, yeah, he's not allowed to talk about it until it's official. So he said what he was able to be said, obviously, but I don't think he would have got a lot out of him. Most owners would have just said, go fuck yourself. Don't ask me that. But Cohen's a man of the people, so different situation. He probably had tons of people around him as well, so it's not like he would have like a direct chat with him for an hour. But no, Wardy's the man. He definitely, he went, here goes nothing, and he asked him, Parada, you value number two behind Ramirez. I think as for potential, given just overall tools, I'd say Parada. I'd say it's Parada because he's also there's some speculation that he might not be a catcher because he kind of has that frame and ability to be an outfielder, be an infielder. Yeah, he's a very athletic type of catcher. He has like that JT Realmuto type of athleticism, right? I'm not saying he is JT Realmuto, but he has that ability of athleticism where he could be an outfielder if they need him to be. And obviously that obviously goes to the question of if Alvarez is here long term as the catcher and he does pan out. So, I'd say that you have about 2 years to figure out whether Alvarez is the guy, and then that'll pretty much determine what happens with Parada. Metsfan, Double Herrera, no, thank you. I just saw the Jim Bowden tweet. He said a deal is not imminent. Does that mean that this can go on for another week or two? He's pretty much saying that. Let me pull it up here. So basically what he's saying is what we've heard is that the next 48 hours are the critical one of where you could hear an announcement. Basically what he's saying is that it's not about to happen right now, but they're in the process of that happening. Mets should have got Wilson Contreras. Frank's not in here, but he would 100% agree with you. I would have taken Wilson Contreras too. What about our 11 second base / third base prospects? Yeah, we have quite a lot of those, do we? Yeah. Again. Ridiculous with this Correa deal. LFGM, get it done. Hell yeah. 19 days later and 18 days too late. Do you think the Mets will still try to trade for Hendricks? I think that's kind of been pushed off the table. For those of you who have not seen, yesterday, Liam Hendricks announced that he's been diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, and he will be out for a while, and it doesn't look like he's going to be coming back for a while. Sending best wishes to him. So hopefully wishing him a speedy recovery because we like to see him back out there. So that's something that you got to put your eye on. So it's possible that they might not trade for him, and it looks like he's probably not on the trade market right now. That would be very shitty of the White Sox to just trade him while he's in the hospital getting treatment. But Jerry Reinsdorf, you can never put anything past that guy. He's quite the character, shall we say. Mets should have kept Javi Baez. I mean, I wanted to keep Javi. I know that he kind of had a shitty season, but I think that he kind of complemented this team very well. But that's water under the bridge at this point. Maybe he does opt out, and we have Lindor, Correa, and Baez teamed up here in a few years. Who knows? I don't know. Those of you who haven't liked the stream yet, be greatly appreciated if you did. I think Ronnie Mauricio, Ramirez are going to be the best prospects when it's all said and done. Interesting. Chafin and Need, you think? I think they should get Chafin, but it's not going to be the end of the world if they don't get him. Second lefty, they do like David Peterson, and then there's the question marks of Joey Lucchesi. They also did sign TJ McFarland a few days ago. I think it's on here. Yeah. No Baez. No. Yeah. Baez is coming back, Elias. I don't know what you're talking about. He's definitely coming back. So, run from it, dread it, do whatever the hell you want from it. He's coming back. All right. Just making sure I didn't miss anything out on Twitter. Let's need Trey Mancini. I could not agree more. Absolutely. He's still in the market? Yeah, for some reason he is. I don't know if there's something wrong with him or whatever, but I would 100% take Trey Mancini. The ideal guy I probably would have gotten and traded for was Hunter Renfroe. No. Did I just say Javi Baez is coming back to the Mets? I mean, you got to use the clues, Do you think Brett Beatty could play second base? I don't see that happening. He's 6'3", too lanky to play that position. If we don't re-sign McNeil, I mean, Yeah, I don't see Brett playing second base, but I do see what's his name playing second base. Fuck, what's his name? Shit. Who's that guy? Who's that second baseman that's on the free agent market if they don't re-sign McNeil 2025? Somebody help me out with that. I don't know. Can't wait to get my Carlos Correa Mets jersey. Oh yeah. I'm not going to because every jersey I get, they usually just go to shit. Then like the next day. For those of the Mets fans that were emotionally scarred by the grand slam given up by Edwin Diaz in 2021 in Pittsburgh, that little bullshit uh, flip home run off of Jacob Stallings. That was the same day that I bought a Diaz shirt. Can't wait to get an Omar Narvaez jersey. I love Omar Narvaez. I think he's a good player, but we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. It looks like the Mets are definitely putting some trust into him. But, you know, the whole catching situation, if Alvarez is not going to be on the opening day roster, I'm fine with that over him possibly being a DH. I do not want him as a DH up here. If he's going to be up here, he's going to be a catcher. He is not going to be a DH. Absolutely not. These the top prospects, they need their reps to express their entire game and develop. So, also the Mets need Michael Wacha. No thanks. Personally, no thanks. I would not do that. Greinke's a free agent. I don't see Greinke coming to the Mets. The huge, he's a very anxious person, and he's talked publicly about, panic attacks and a lot of mental health. And I don't think New York is going to be a good fit for him. He was a Met already. Yeah, 2020, and I want to forget it. We need another starter. Sure. I think they trade for one, but we'll see what happens. I think they trade for a Trevor Williams type. Hell knows on Greinke. I mean, I like Greinke. I think Greinke's a good pitcher, and he's got, like a few good years left in him, where he can give you, some quality, eat innings if you need him to. But I don't see him coming to New York at all. God help Correa. This guy slows. Yeah. That's gonna be tough, but Correa, he's definitely been in that type of that full on environment. He's his personality is definitely New York, so I think he will be able to handle it. That I'm not worried about. It looks like just yeah, it looks like the biggest concern is his health right now. That's kind of like what's been the holdout recently. Lindor will help Correa adjust. Possibility. I mean, when Javi got here, Lindor definitely started to hit better. So, Johnny Cueto, Big Shane, or Shane Bieber. We might actually have, if Shane Bieber does become available on the trade market, we might do a video about him. Because I'm kind of intrigued by Shane Bieber. I thought he kind of lost a little bit, but no, he's still got it. Guys still got it. Greinke has an agreement in principle to return to KC. Heard that from somebody. Yeah, I thought he went back to KC, but it looked like he was gonna stay or whatever. Making me feel. Jet Williams is a baller. Yeah, Jet Williams he can definitely blossom into a great player. What about Plesac? Kind of a head case. Yeah. I don't know. Who's your opening starter? Mad Max? I think Verlander probably. Verlander would probably be your opening day starter. But you can't really go wrong with either Verlander or Zer. Mets got to get Garrett Richards and Matt Whistler. All right, so he's just listing every single guy the Mets have to get. So We'll copy this down and we'll send it to the front office. For those of you who have not liked the stream yet, that'd be greatly appreciated if you did. There's tons of people still in here. For those of you, let's just ask a quick question. For those of you who watch college football, who do you got going tonight? Let me know. Georgia or TCU? Either team's a possibility, in my opinion. But again, this is a Mets channel. Okay, just making sure that Twitter does not have anything crazy. Nothing new coming out on Twitter. Making sure. Refreshing. For some reason, taking a while. How is this? Knicks play tonight? They do play tonight. They're actually playing right now. Predictions, I will stand by. DeGrom will eventually request a trade home after pinching in front of 900 people at home on Mauricio will be a center fielder. Yeah, we'll see. Again, that's kind of the same situation with Alex Ramirez. Just the size. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens with Ronnie Mauricio. It's going to be interesting. Interesting to see what he does. Let's see. Just making sure I didn't miss anything. What's my Super Bowl prediction? Oh, I mean, I like the Bills. I think they're gonna do pretty well. What about Chapman? Aroldis Chapman? I'd stay away from him, personally. I would stay away from Chapman. I'm not a big fan of guys who can't get the fucking ball over the plate. So really a tough one. Chapman behind Diaz would be electric as long as he's on. Yeah, that's the thing. You just can't really, count on Chapman being himself anymore. I mean, he's really at this point, he's just so wild. What about Britton or Chafin? Britton, I mean, you see it you see it as a possibility, maybe a minor league deal, for the guys they scrape up in spring, to come back from injury. He does have the connection with Buck Showalter. Chafin, I'd love to bring in. I'd love to add Chafin as your fifth possible trusted arm to put into the bullpen. But he might be asking for a lot. I don't think the Mets want to go that much. But, we'll see what happens. We've had reports that the Mets want, after Correa, they want to get one more bat and they want to get one more reliever. So we'll see what happens after that. They still have lots and lots of stuff to do after they get Correa, or if they get Correa, shall we say. Because, you never know, right? Sometimes stuff happens. Happens a lot to the Mets. Whew. If they want more about it, it would probably be Mancini. I mean, sign me up. Again, Mancini's somebody on my list that I'd take. Mancini, Profar. Do you think Tim LeCastro makes the team? I hope not. I really hope not. To be honest, I'm not really impressed. Okay, the guy can run. Great. But I'm not going to give a bench spot to somebody that can run. That's just being as limited as they are right now of 9 guys, like I've said so many times, of 3 infielders in your bench pool, 3 catchers and 3 DHs. I'm not going to just have somebody that can run. You know, that's not somebody that I would put on the bench, but I'm not the Mets. So imagine the Mets fans after waiting 2 months finding out Correa joined the Mets for a 1-year deal. You know, if the holdout goes that quick, I mean, it's possible. But I think we will get a resolution during the week. I think it's definitely one of those possibilities that it just continues to, you know, they continue to progress. I think that the Mets are, you know, the biggest possibility, and they seem to be the deepest into talks with Correa. And, you know, like Cohen said to a fellow creator, Wardy, that he hopes that there is going to be a resolution soon, one way or another. So we'll see. I think you'll hear in the next few days, definitely. From what we're hearing, definitely. This is 6-month opt out and a 1-year deal. I've never seen that before, but they said that there's going to be some stipulations that we haven't seen before in that contract. So maybe that's one of those things. You know, your 1K sub was your alt. Cool, man. I'm glad you had the dedication to be the 1K sub to get us over the top. Thank you very much. Really appreciate it. I'm actually not sure. I don't know who the 1000th sub, because I think we passed it before we went live to celebrate it. So, but thank you. If it was you, if you are telling the truth and you're not perjuring yourself in a court of law, then thank you very much. All right. Making sure we don't have anything that breaks. Nothing. Nothing that breaks. Making sure nothing pops up. All right. So use mobile. Okay. All right. So after 204 votes, it looks like 52% of you guys leading this poll would be 8 to 10 years. So it looks like people have backed off. Looks people have backed off from the original deal, which is probably the most possible right now. They probably keep the 12 years, in my opinion. I don't know. I think that they do, but maybe not. Sure, this is. I don't know why this thing is lagging so much, but you know what? Whatever works, you know? All right. All right. For those of you in here who have not hit the like button, please feel free to do. Hit the subscribe button if you have not already. We've surpassed 1,000 this week. Also, make sure to follow our brand new Twitter. We have updates and all stuff on there. TikTok, haven't posted recently on there, but get that going. And if you have not seen the new podcast that came out yesterday, episode 4 of the Mets Weekly Podcast, 6 hours of brutal, 6 hours, Jesus Christ, 60 minutes of brutal honesty between the 4 of us. Andrew was not there, so it was the 3 of us, me, Frank, and Tony. We talked about the Carlos Correa, obviously, the saga that continues to grow and go up day by day. Talked a little bit about finishing up the bullpen with the established arms of Ottavino, Robertson, Raley, and Diaz there. We talked about the Mets' number 5 starter. We had some viewer questions. We did some Mets trivia. So for those of you who have not seen that yet, make sure to go see that. The podcast has been doing very well. You guys have seemed to really enjoy it, so I'm happy about that. Thank you guys so much for all that support. But yeah, I think I'm gonna head off in about 15 minutes. New goal 10K by the trade deadline. Boy, I hope so. We're continuing to stretch it out. It was 1K by opening day. That was what the original goal was, and looks like we reached that goal a lot earlier than we expected to. So thank you guys for that. Pick up McCutchen. I wouldn't mind McCutchen. Again, I would search in some other areas before you do that. But wouldn't mind McCutchen. I remember McCutchen. There was talk about McCutchen coming over to the Mets back in like 2014. So, there's also been talk about Josh Harrison. Anybody remember Josh Harrison when he was a big deal with the Pirates? There was talk about obviously Starling Marte coming over to the Mets back in, 2019. They were talking about, let's trade Nimmo. Let's trade Nimmo for him. Well, now we got both. That's cool. How times have changed, folks. How times have changed. Starling Marte was our top, addition of the offseason. He was the top guy they were talking about, and now he's considered like the 5th best. If you were to talk about the offseason we've had this year, if you slotted him into this one. So times have definitely changed from the Wilpon era to the Steve Cohen era. He better not lose his diamonds again. Who are we talking about? Correa? McCutchen? All right. Okay, so in the next coming week, most likely we'll have a video come out on Wednesday. If not, it will be Thursday. We better not use our diamond players or gold players. Oh. Okay. But yeah, new video coming out on Wednesday, most likely. If not, it will be Thursday, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be Wednesday. Actually don't know what it's going to be yet, but I will promise you that there will be a video coming out this week. And then, of course, the podcast coming out on Sunday as per usual. We just filmed episode 4, just got posted yesterday. Once again, follow us on TikTok. You can listen to our podcast on there's 8 platforms, 7 platforms above my head right now as well. So yeah, all those links are in the description. Everybody, you can follow individually, from me to Frank to Andrew to Tony. All those links are in the description. If you guys want a question answered on the podcast, there is also a link in the description where you can fill out our Google form, fill out your name and the question. If you don't want to specify your name, just put, anonymous or whatever. And you guys have been bringing in some good viewer questions. So let us know what you guys want to know on the podcast, and it could be answered in the next episode, which will be episode 5 coming this Sunday. Okay. So I think I'm going to hop off here. I will be sure to go live if, any news breaks in the next coming 48 hours, or if it's tonight that the deal gets reached, or tomorrow. I'll be sure to be live, and we will talk about the whole situation. But I thought I would just go live here. We talk about the whole thing, talk about some Mets and, the whole situation going on around the Mets universe. So for those of you who have not seen the latest episode of the Mets Weekly Podcast, once again, it is here on our YouTube channel, and it is up on those 7 listening platforms above my head right now. Follow us on Twitter, follow us on TikTok. All of those are in the description. So I'm going to hop off now. For those of you who have not liked the stream yet, it'd be greatly appreciated if you did on the way out. For those watching on playback, like the stream as well. And we'll be sure to go live for any other breaking news, and there will be a video out during the week. So I'm going to see you guys next time. Hopefully Correa's a Met by the time I'm live next. Hopefully that is the deal. It's day 19. Let's hope that there's not a day 20, a day 21, and a day 22. So see you guys next time. Let's go Mets for all the Mets fans out there. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.